Hey guys, here are 5 basic yoga stretches for your abs. The first stretch I want to show you is something that you probably wouldn't think. So instead of doing a basic back bend, we're actually going to do a low lunge and focus on stretching our abs from there. So right leg forward, left leg back, drop into a kneeling lunge. By the way, if your knee hurts putting it on the ground, put a pad underneath it. There's really no benefit to resting your knee and having it hurting on the ground in a lunge. So from here, you're going to lean into your hips, allow your hips to sink forward, come into a basic lunge position. And to add the ab stretch, what you're going to do here is put your hands onto your thigh, so hands on your right thigh. And I want you to think about pushing your chest up and away from the ground and then leaning back slightly. And this is going to help with stretching your abs. So you'll feel that stretch in your abs as you do this. What I like about this is it's a very supported stretch. So sometimes if you do a back bend and it doesn't feel supported, you're going to have some pain in your lower back as you're doing it. What's nice about this is being in the lunge position, also having the hands here, it's just a lot easier to do this without causing pain in your back. As you're doing this stretch, and all of the stretches in this video and in general, you want to focus on slowing down your breathing, and particularly on the exhale. You're going to use that as an opportunity to work deeper into the stretch and kind of relax more into it. So I would hold this for at least 45 or 60 seconds. Again, make sure that there's no back pain. Don't lean back too far, and focus on slow, controlled breaths as you're doing this. Let's go ahead and switch sides. I'll give you an opportunity to practice the other side too. So now left leg is forward, right leg is back. I would recommend tucking the back toes. That's going to provide a little bit more stability through your hips, and it will just feel not as, won't be as much pressure on the knee, a little bit more support for your body here. So again, allow your hips to sink forward. You're going to feel a stretch through your right hip flexors as you're doing this. That's the primary stretch, primary muscle stretching when you're doing a lunge. But adding in that back bend, so bringing the hands on top of the thighs, and then thinking about lifting your chest up and away from the ground, and then leaning back slightly, you'll feel the abs start to stretch as well. If you do feel pain in your back, if you feel pinching through your lower back, you're probably leaning back too far. So I would start by finding a depth that feels more manageable, so don't lean back as far. And then as you hold the stretch, maybe 30 seconds in, your body will adjust a little bit, and you'll be able to lean a little bit further. Sometimes if you go straight to your max range of motion, it's not going to feel as good. So I'd recommend finding kind of a moderate range of motion to start, where there's no pain, where you're feeling the stretch, but it's not uncomfortable. And then over time, as the pose progresses, as you hold it for a few breaths, you can go a little bit deeper into it, and it won't feel as intense, and your body can actually relax, and you'll get the benefits of the stretch. All right, so there's our first one. Now we're going to go into a Cobra, and this is a much more traditional stretch for your abs. So for Cobra, you're going to get onto the ground, and the way that, if you've worked out with me before, this is going to be a more stretch-focused Cobra. So traditionally, the way that I do Cobra is very active, so it's more focused as a strength-building exercise. We're going to do this Cobra more as a stretch. So I still want you to have your legs active in this. So point the legs back, extend the toes, zipper your legs up. So squeezing your toes, your feet, your knees, inner thighs, everything's squeezing together. And then you're going to use your hands to pull yourself up. This is kind of the start, and it helps to establish a little bit of strength first. So using your hands to pull yourself upright. And now adding in the stretch, you're going to bring your hands a little bit further back and then actually push up, relax your knees, and think about lengthening from basically from the very base of your spine up through your chest. So you're lengthening the abs. Now, you don't want to do this to the point where you're feeling like your low back is in pain. So find a point, find a depth where you feel like you're getting a stretch, but there's not pain. And then in that position, you want to do some nice, slow, controlled breathing. So really slow down the breathing, focus on that stretch. Now, some things that people do incorrectly in this, A lot of people will do this and their shoulders come way up near the ears like this, and they crane their neck, and oh God, it just looks terrible. So don't do that. I want you to think about pushing your hands down so the shoulders come down, and then keep length through the back of your neck. So don't just let your head collapse, but think about pushing your head away from your hips and getting a nice kind of graceful arch through your whole spine, not just collapsing through the neck. And here, you want to hold this for at least 30 seconds, just depending on how your back feels. Most people will start to feel some back discomfort if you're holding it for a longer time. So that kind of comes down to making sure that you're not going too deep, and also finding a depth that feels good, doesn't hurt, and controlling that breathing. All right, go ahead and release. From here, I'm going to have you flip over and go onto your back. And if you have a block, this is a good opportunity to use that. So grab your block, go onto your back, feet in front of your hips. You're going to press up into a bridge. Make sure that you're pushing your feet into the ground to press up into a bridge instead of just lifting with your back. And then you can put this block level 1. You can put it so that the block is like this, the second tallest height it has, or the middle height. And then you can relax your lower back on the block. And this, you might feel a stretch with your abs here if you really arch your back. And if you really arch your back, opening up your spine, opening up your chest, and you might feel stretching through your abs. So this might work for you. The other level would be going up to the highest setting on the block, and then focusing on, just like we did with the Cobra, creating space through the front of your abs. So think about length from below your waist all the way up through your chest. And then here, again, really arching your back, really opening up the chest so that you can stretch your abs. What I like about this position is using the block. We're in a really supported position, so there's a lot less strain on your back. We're able to go a little bit deeper than we normally would. And this is a really relatively relaxed position. So you can really relax in this. You can get your abs to relax. So I would stay here for easily at least 60 seconds. And as long as it's comfortable, you could stay here for 90 seconds, 2 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes. This is also a bonus stretch if you spend a lot of time sitting or you want to work on your posture. This is a really good one to counter what you do while you're in a seated position. Maybe if you drive a lot, if you sit at a desk, if you just spend a lot of time in a chair in general, this is a really nice one for undoing that. And as you're holding this, continue to think about, how can I make this space bigger in my abs, right? How can I open up my chest more? How can I create more length from my waist? How can I maybe even arch my back even more? You can come up more off the block if you want to. So really nice stretch there. So bridge, supported or unsupported, to help open and stretch your abs. Hope you guys are enjoying this video. If you're looking for a yoga program to get started, I've got a free 7-day Beginner's Yoga for Men challenge. No credit card required. You can sign up for that at the link in the description below when this video is finished. Next stretch, go ahead and join me in a standing position. We're going to go through a standing back bend. This is more active than that bridge we just did, but it's a really nice stretch for your abs. Also good for strengthening your back. In general, a lot of these movements are going to be both strengthening and stretching. And I usually find that when you do stretching with an emphasis on strength as well, the results are longer lasting. You also feel it more in the moment. So it's a good idea to combine strength with flexibility. So for a standing back bend, toes together, heels about an inch apart. If you have that block, actually, you can put that block between your thighs. Holding the block between your thighs allows you to get a little more core activation, a little more hip activation, and that helps to support your back. So it's a good idea to use the block if you have it. So here, arms are going to come up, and I don't care about your arms interlacing for the point of this stretch. So I would actually say bring your arms out into a Y, so you don't have to worry about your shoulders as much. And then just squeeze your arms back, lift your chest up, and think about lengthening through your abs here. So less protected than what we were doing before, but as long as your abs are active, as long as your hips are active, and you're not going too far into it, your back should feel fine. If you feel like you're going too far into it, if there's pinching in your low back, you're probably leaning back too far, so just don't go as far into it. This is a lot more active, but really nice active stretch and also strengthener for your entire back. I would hold here for at least 30 seconds. You can work your way up to 45 or even 60 seconds. Final stretch I'm going to show you here is an up dog. This is technically not a beginner-friendly pose. I wouldn't say it's beginner-friendly, but I'll try and walk you through it in a way where it's a little more manageable. So I want you to think of up dog as a cobra. Cobra, except we're pushing up, okay? So we're going to get into a cobra position to start. So lying on your chest, hands are under your shoulders, legs extending back, toes pointed, and then zipper your legs up. So squeezing your feet, your ankles, your inner thighs, everything is squeezing together. Hands under the shoulders. We can start with the cobra. So you're going to hug your elbows down toward the hips and then in tight toward the sides. Push yourself up. Don't actually lift yourself off the ground yet, but just start to push yourself up. Keep your legs engaged. Keep your arms, your upper back working. And then from here, actually do a push-up. Keep the lower body, your core the same, but then push up into up dog. So here, a lot going on. The inner elbows are wrapping forward, biceps are facing forward, and your elbows are facing backward. You want to push down so that your shoulders are down away from the ears and squeezing your thighs. So that's all going to help protect your back. Again, a lot going on. With your abs, you want to stretch the abs. So again, think about lengthening from below your waist all the way up through the chest. This is a lot more active stretch. It is a strengthening posture as well. But if you can keep that engagement through your thighs, you're using your abs, you're using your upper back, you're using your legs, and you're protecting your back with all of that, then this can also be a really nice ab stretch. Go ahead and relax. For that one, I would hold anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. If you're more advanced, you can definitely do more. But I would start with 15 seconds to make sure that you're using proper technique. Chances are that if you're new, it's going to be really difficult to do that any longer than 15 seconds without messing something up. So start small and build up from there with up dog. All right, so those are my top 5 yoga ab stretches. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe. We have more videos from this series coming out in the coming weeks. We also have a few other videos already released from this series here live for free on the Manful Yoga YouTube channel. So subscribe, don't miss out. Leave a comment on this video if you have a question, feedback, or a recommended topic. Like the video if you found it helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. If you want to jump straight into that right now, I've got the first workout, the first video from my basic yoga stretches series right here. This one's focused on shoulder stretches. All right, guys, see you on the next one.